Oh, hey, good morning, Team Impact. Welcome back from Labor Day. It's Tuesday, and we're rocking and rolling. Hopefully, you finished up your quiz from lessons 1 to 4. We're probably going to spend a couple days on dividing decimals. So Tuesday and Wednesday doing that. Probably a couple days reviewing, and then we'll probably test next week. Start Monday, finish Tuesday. So we're not in any big hurry here. I want to make sure that we know how to do this. A lot of times I read through the vocabulary here. And today I'm not. And the reason is because I think it's going to be more confusing than anything. So what I'm going to do is actually just X this off because it doesn't make sense. They make it too hard. Okay. And we're actually just going to slide down here. Okay. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just work on moving the decimal. So today we're going to be dividing a decimal by a decimal. We're going to have a decimal in the dividend, a decimal in the divisor. We're not going to do any work on these first three, but what we are going to do is focus on the decimal. So when we have a decimal in both the dividend and the divisor, what we do is we take care of the decimal first. So I always focus on the outside of the house. I'm calling this my house right here. So I'm going to focus on the outside. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that decimal point as far as I can to the right till I hit the bar of the house. What I do outside, I do inside. And all as we're focusing on is that, moving it up and putting it into our quotient. Okay. So ideally, if we were to rewrite this, it would be 12 and 863. The decimal is there. And if you looked at it at a cleaned up version, it would look like that. Okay. Let's try that again with number 2. It's a little bit different. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to move this over 2. 1, 2, and now it's there. 1, 2. What I do outside, I do inside. But you have to remember that if there's no decimal in the number, it's at the end of the number. So we can insert that. So that tells us what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to annex some zeros. 1, 2, and I'm going to take it up. And what I'm going to do is extend that bar out a little bit. And in these valleys, I'm going to put a couple zeros. So let's clean this up a little bit. So let's put 25 here, and we can put the decimal there. And let's put 74,000, okay? Decimal there, and it's right there. So this is the same as this. It's just a cleaned up version, right? All right, one more. This one does, the divisor does not have a decimal, but the dividend does. Well, we've already done this. When there's just a decimal in the dividend, we take it up and insert it, okay? So now if I were to rewrite this, 41 would stay the same. And ideally, all we're going to do is rewrite the same thing, take it, put it up, and we're done, okay? So remember, what you do outside, you have to do inside. If you don't do anything outside, you don't do anything inside, all right? So that's a good start for us. All right, we're going to do a couple here. Okay, and again, I'm not going to get crazy with this dividing of decimals because ideally at the end of the day, if it's really big, we want to use a calculator anyway, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and set up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my pen here and see what we end up with here, okay? So 210, first number inside, and second number outside. So you can see that a little bit better. And here's the bar, as you can see on your paper, right? All right, I'm going to go back to my pencil now. What I do outside, I'm going to do inside and up. And don't forget to add a circle or a 0 after you move the decimal. Okay, no problems, right? So sometimes we come off to the side here, right? And we'll list these as 35 times 2 is 70. Well, if I add through, it would be 105. That's one I can do kind of mentally here, right? So let's see, 35 into 2, no. 35 into 21, no. 35 will go into 210, right? Well, how many times will it go? Well, 3 will go into 21 7 times. But remember, this isn't 30. It's a little higher than 30. So instead of 7, I'm going to try 6. And you notice that work I did didn't even help me here. Okay, so 6 times 5 is 30. Carry the 3. 6 times 3 is 18, 19, 20, 21. See how I count with my dots? And there it is. We subtract and get a difference of 0, but we do have to bring that 0 down. It's going to hold value. 35 will not go into double zero, so we need to put a 0 there. So it ends up being 60. And I'm going to come back up here and write it cleanly, okay? If you wanted to, you could multiply that through and subtract and get 0, okay? So not too bad here, okay? Okay, so let's skip 5 and let's take a look at number 6 here, okay? It's a little bigger, and I'm going to go back to my pen so you can see it. 58 and 42 hundredths divided by 92 hundredths, okay? All right, so what I do outside, 1, 2. I do inside, 1, 2. It's there, I take it up, and now I just treat it like 2 whole numbers, right? So it makes it easier when we take care of the decimal first, okay? All right, so let's take a look at number 6. Will 92 go into 5? No. Will it go into 58? No. But it will go into 584. Well, this is almost 100 if I were to do some rounding here, right? So let's see. Well, 92, well, 100 going, yeah, that would go about 5 times, not 6. Let's see. Let's see what 92 times 6 is, just to see if that will work, right? 6 times 2 is 12, carry the 1. 54 and 1 is 55. It actually does work. So this was just a little less than 100. So I tried 6 because I thought it might work. All right, this is almost 600. So this is a little less than 100, so it kind of fit in nicely. So we're going to put the 6 above the 4. 92 times 6, I already did the math, is 552. We're going to subtract. Stay with me. 4 minus 2 is 2. 8 minus 5 is 3, and that is a 0. This is less than that. Bring the 2 down. Okay, very good. So 92, no, yeah, we'll go into 332. So you know what? I think that's going to be around 3 times. 3 times. So let's go ahead and put a 3 there. And watch how I multiply this again. Which kind of saves me a little bit of time. 3 times 2 is 6. And 3 times 9 is 27. And I'm going to subtract. Okay? All right. So going to have to borrow. 12 minus 6 is 6. Going to have to borrow. 11 minus 7 is 4. And 2 minus 2 is 0. That is less than that. I'm in good shape. Now, what I'm going to do is erase this work because I'm going to have to do some work on the other side of this. I already have a decimal point here, so I'm going to annex a 0. I'm going to add one, right? And I'm going to bring it down, right? There are no remainders. We have to continue on. So 92 into 460. Well, I know it will go 4 times, but will it go 5? Excuse me. So let's try it. 92 times 5, 10, carry the 1, 45 and 46. Oh, it does. They match. So we can put a 5 there, extend that bar. That is 460, and we subtract and get 0. You're going to notice that after you annex a 0 or 2, it's going to come out even right now. We will round later, but right now it's going to come out even. Okay, so our quotient here is 63 and 5/10. Okay, but the premise of the lesson is moving the decimal on the outside and doing the same on the inside as we did up here as well. Okay, all right, let's flip the page here and let's take a look at number 7 and 8 here. Okay, all right, so number 7. Mr. Gallon pumped 19.5 gallons of gas into his van. I underlined that. That's important. He paid $42.12 total. What was the price per gallon? Okay, I know that he got 19.5 gallons of gas and he paid $42.12. What I need to know is the price per gallon. All right, so my work is right here. I need to figure out, all right, how much it is per gallon. So I'm going to have to split this number up. So when I split that number up, it's going to be $42.12 divided by 19 and 5/10. Okay. What I do outside, I do inside and up. That decimal move between the 1 and the 2. Now, these are big numbers here, man. So let's take a look at this thing here, okay? So 195 into 421. We know it won't go into 4, and we know it won't go into 2. But it will go into 421, okay? Okay, so let's take a look at this thing here. Here we go. I'm going to say this is almost 200, so you know what? This is going to go about 2 times. This is up close to 400, so just a little bit of rounding helps me. 2 times 195. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19. 2 and 3, and subtract, borrow, and we end up with 31. That is less than that, and I'm going to erase that little 1 there so we don't get confused. Okay, we're going to bring the 2 down. Okay, he was right there. Again, this is almost 200. That's almost 300. It's only going to go 1 time. Subtract, okay, borrow, 12 as 7. Borrow from the 3, make it a 2. Carry that over. Now that's a 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay? That's not a difference of 0. And we're dealing with money, so let's annex a 0 and bring it down. Okay? Remember, this is about 200. This is about 1,200. So guess what? 6 times 200 is about 1,200. I'm going to come off to the side and see what 195 times 6 is. Because just from rounding, that gets me close. 6 times 5 is 30. 54 and 3 is 57. Carry the 5, and that is 11. They match. So the answer and the number in the quotient is 6. That is 1170. We've already done that. So our answer, our solution, is $2.16 per gallon. So, all right, Mr. Gallon went to the gas station. He bought 19.5 gallons and spent that. Gas was $2.16. I just filled up this morning and it was $4 a gallon. So that's a pretty good price, right? Okay, so we're moving on. Okay, we're going to do one more, number 8, and stick with me here, okay? Bridget ran a marathon, 26.2 miles. So I know she ran that, 26.2 miles. Her average speed on the race was 11.7 miles per hour. How long did it take Bridget to finish the race? And then it says round your answer to the 10th place. So that tells us we only need to go to the hundreds, right? Okay, so let's take a look at this thing. I need to know, all right, the time it took her to finish the race. Let's just put time down there. So what we're going to do is take 26 and 2/10 and divide it by 11 and 7/10. Now, if you want to pause the video here and try and work it out on your own, you can. I'm going to move it over 1, and up into my quotient. Okay. 117 into 262, because it won't go into 2 and it won't go into 26. I'm going to say about 2 times. I'm going to come off to the side. You see, Dividing is not easy. You have to do the work. 14, carry the 1, 3, 234. That works. Oops. Sorry, I put 3 there first. Okay. 234. Let's subtract it. 12 minus 9 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. And 0. That is less than that. We're in good shape. Now, we got to round it to the tens place, so we're going to have to annex a 0 and bring it down. Well, I see that 117 times 2 is 234, and this is 230. So I know it's only going to go one time, right? So let's borrow and get 113. Okay. That's 117. That's really close. So when I annex this 0 and bring it down, it's going to be pretty big. So let's try this. All right. Let's start off with 9. 117 times 9. Again, I'm just using this space for some work. 9 times 7 is 63. 9 and 6 is 15. Carry the 1. 9. That is less than that. That's as big as I can go. So I know it's a 9. I don't even need to multiply this through or subtract because I'm rounding. And those two squiggly lines means approximately equal to. So 2 point what? Well, I look to the right. That's 5 or greater. The 1 gets a shove to a 2. And let's write it over here. About 2 2/10. Okay. About 2 2/10 hours. Okay. I'm not going to focus on this. All right. I want you to take a look at the homework back here. Okay. There's some division here. There's 6 problems. All right. You're going to be using this data up here from the Sweet Sugar Shop. All right. You're going to be dividing. You probably will need scratch paper. Up on my front desk is scratch paper. You're welcome to use all you want. Okay. Just make sure you put your name and label it. Okay. So, with all that being said, this is a pretty long video. So, I'm going to think about what the homework is and see where we are with this by the end of the class. This may be something we do together tomorrow in class. So I'll let you know in class. Okay, guys, have a good day.